Hello and welcome to Newsroom series today as we focus on the Southwest region. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. Today's program begins from Akure, the Ondo State capital, where a 300-level student of Adekunle Ajasin University, Ondo State, Miss Ifeoluwa Adekunle, has been found dead in her room in a house outside the university campus. Her lifeless body was discovered on Saturday, and investigations by the police show that Ifeoluwa was attacked by yet to be identified assailants. The unfortunate incidents were said to have caused panic and apprehension amongst university students, particularly the female students. According to a neighbor of the deceased who pleaded anonymity, in their words, "We found her in the pool of her own blood in her room. She was stabbed to death by yet to be identified persons who came visiting. We know this is not a cult-related issue as some people are propagating. We have reported the murder case to the police, but seems they are slow in responding to our demands in identifying and tracking those who are behind the dastardly act." The police public relations officer of Ondo State Command, SP Fumilayo Dolami Omisanya, confirmed the incident to newsmen. She also says that investigations into the incident have begun. The Ondo State Police spokesperson noted that the killing could be cult-related, as suspected. She disclosed that the remains of Ifeoluwa has since been taken to the mortuary. An increase in attacks and kidnappings in the Southwest region is now a serious cause for concern for residents. The latest attack in Ekiti State, which led to the death of 2 monarchs and the abduction of school children, have raised fears that it may be out of control if not nipped in the bud. Our next report takes a look at the situation.
Stories of attacks and kidnappings by gunmen in parts of the South were initially viewed as one-off incidents. The story has changed lately, with repeated attacks on farmlands in several southwestern states, kidnappings along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Abeokuta Express, Oyo-Ogbomosho Road, among others. Things came to a horrific realization after the attack on a church in Owo Town, Ondo State, in 2022 by suspected herdsmen, where many church members lost their lives. Just last week, 2 traditional rulers were killed in Ekiti State and several children kidnapped from their school bus. The children were released on Sunday, February 4, following a joint operation by the police and other sister security agencies. 13 people were arrested, including those suspected to be behind the killing of the Ekiti monarchs.
A combined team of the police, Amotekun, local hunters, as well as OPC, embarked on the bush combing operation through Oke, Osun, Ikere, Igbo, Oka, to the thick forest around Iju-Ikere boundary. During this operation, 5 suspected kidnappers, namely Usman Jelili, Mohammed Bande, Abubakar Aliu, Isa Abdullahi, and Suleiman Abdullahi, were arrested. The following items were found with them in the forest: 2 motorcycles, 1 dagger, 1 jackknife, 1 cutlass, and 4 phones.
Shortly after regaining their freedom, Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji visited the students at a medical facility where they were being evaluated. He gave assurances that they will receive proper medical attention physically and mentally.
I commend the Honorable Commissioner for Health and his team for the swift response to, because when I spoke to him, he was already in Emory, and I love the mobilization to bring them here. And I've gone around and proved that all of them are stable, and they'll be here until they are found to be medically fit to go back home.
Communities in remote areas are worried that they are no longer safe, as they call for a beef-up security, especially from the Southwestern Security Network, Amotekun Force, formed by the governors as an extra buffer, a force that may just begin to realize the scope of its operation.
Joining us now from Ado-Ekiti is the Ekiti State Assembly Speaker, Right Honorable Lubumi Adelugwa. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program today.
I'm sorry, I am Right Honorable Ati Stephen Aribasoye, Speaker of the State House of Assembly.
Oh, we do beg your pardon. Oh, we're sorry for that. Thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
Now,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Now, how can state assemblies engage in constructive dialogue with federal lawmakers to advocate the legalizing and carrying of arms by security outfits like Amotekun while ensuring accountability and adherence to national security standards?
Well, thank you. Let me start also by saying the unfortunate incident in the state has also called for national dialogue on part of what I've been doing, even before the unfortunate incident as the chairman, Southwest Conference of Speakers, I was in Ondo State, Osun State, and Oyo State before the news came to me to meet with the lawmakers in those states I've mentioned, and to also meet with the governors. Because I met with the governor of Ondo State, Excellency Ayedatiwa, Dr. Ayedatiwa, and also the governor of Oyo State, on the need for regional integration and on the need for legislative summit, particularly in the Southwest. And beyond this, in Ekiti State now, I've started talking with my brothers in the National Assembly on the need for us to also collaborate and see what we can do, particularly in the areas of law, because unless we want to deceive ourselves, it is time Nigeria is right for us to have devolution of power, to move issue of security from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. And I believe that this can be done with that collaboration by the National Assembly and the State House Assembly, because even if National Assembly passes this, it's still required to third majority of the states in the country. What we need now at the moment is it's not just state police, it's about multi-level policing, which is very, very important. Also, it is important to speak around the neighboring states, particularly the contiguous states, to have what I call a synergy of collaboration when it comes to the issue of security. I believe states cannot work in silos in addressing security challenges that we are having at the moment. For example, in Ekiti State, most of these criminals, you realize that some of them are actually not even living within the borders of Ekiti State. They only come around, strike, and they go back. It means that there is the need for us to have collaboration and synergy in the area of security with Oyo State, Kwara State, Kogi State, and Ondo State and Osun State that we share border with. It means that all these neighboring states have to also collaborate. Part of what we are also addressing, if you listen to our resolution from the Ekiti House of Assembly, because we have to immediately we had a special and emergency session on security in the state. And part of what we discussed during the period is the need, because there is a potential threat because of the large forests that we have. And there is the need for a combing of this forest. And that cannot, because we have a lot of unmanned area, whether we can't shy away from this. For example, in the whole of my constituency, there is no single police post. These are unmanned area. We only have one military outpost around where the unfortunate incidents even occur. But there is the need for police outposts in some of these, particularly in the border towns that we must have. And these are the areas that we are addressing. And in Ekiti State, there is nothing stopping the Air Force, which we have actually called on the Chief of Army Staff, Air Force, on the need to now the operations based in Ekiti State. I am Aribasoye in Ekiti State, that there is the need for them to start their operation in Ekiti State, particularly with the use of UAV, the unmanned area vehicles. They are very, very important. And we should not be reactionary. And that is the essence of us also calling on others that will come together and we provide this solution. The State House of Assembly is doing that immediately, and we have passed upon the resolutions, and now with the security agencies, with the governor of Ekiti State, I listened to the commandant of 32 artillery from Ondo State, who also said that they are actually acting on the resolution by the legislators of assembly on the need for them now to move in and comb our forest, and that we are doing at the moment. And I believe that we all need security issue require all society approach. It's not what we can leave in the hands of government alone. It's not what we can leave in the hands of security agencies alone. And that is why all stakeholders have to come on board to ensure that we provide solution to the security challenges that we are presently facing.
Indeed, Honorable Speaker, and I expect one of the stakeholders you speak of are state assemblies. My next question to you was going to be, how can state assemblies work with federal legislatures to push for the establishment of possible state police forces as a means to enhance local security and address the unique security challenges faced by different states in different regions? That's the argument for state police.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier, that part of my visit to the governors and to the state assembly is the need for us to also call on our National Assembly in respective states for them also to champion this cause of devolution of power. And particularly, it should even be the front burner at the moment. There cannot be, for example, the Commissioner of Police in the Ekiti State, who is answerable to one Inspector General of Police in Abuja, might not be able to address the challenges that we are facing currently in the state. The governors, even though are regarded as the chief security officer of the state, but in the real sense of it, can we say the governors are truly the chief security officer when you cannot even direct immediately a commissioner of police? A commissioner of police that you are directing must take an instruction from the IGP. The IGP also takes instruction from the president. And that is why everybody will agree that it is time for us to have not just state police, but multi-level policing, up to even the local level, to the wards that we must have. And again, is a call to all our National Assembly, most especially in the Southwest, that the legislative summit, though I realize that the House of Rep has also come on, in one of their sessions has also, part of their resolution is that we should have a summit, legislative summit, that is national, including the National and State Assembly on security. I believe
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Of course, what we are going to have.
Thank you so much.
I must also say that
thank you so much.
For this. Thank you.
We do thank you for the time that you made out for us, and we wish you the best in enforcing security. We apologize for the mix-up, and then Right Honorable Adeoye Aribasoye, the Ekiti State Assembly Speaker. Now, still in the region, we're covering the Southwest today. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has held a town hall meeting with the people of Ifo and Ilubu communities who are involved in violent clashes over land disputes. Governor Adeleke, alongside other top government officials as well as heads of security agencies in the state, met with leaders of the two communities. The land disputes, which had led to loss of lives and destruction of property, happened in the instance after which the governor asked the two communities to give peace a chance. He also warned that anyone culpable of causing violence will be dealt with according to the law.
We are very, very serious about maintaining peace, law and order and property. And anybody that is caught wanting the law is taking his course. And I'm very, very serious about that. Today, that is why I brought all the experience, security agencies, for them to come and witness what is going to happen today in front of Baba. And Baba has said, we want peace, all our leaders. So, what are we fighting for? There's no need for that. Because I want Ilobu to develop. I want Osun to develop. And I want Ifo to develop.
Welcome back. 8,285 candidates from various regions are currently engaged in the inaugural computer-based model of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Amidst this milestone, the head of the National Office of WAEC in Nigeria, Dr. Amos Dangote, conducted an inspection at the CB Test Center situated in the Ogba area of Lagos. Mr. Dangote's inspection in Lagos revealed a seamless process prevailing across Nigeria's examination centers.
This examination hall is one of the computer-based centers at the ongoing inaugural computer-based model of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Lagos. At this center, located at the WAEC facility in Ogba area of the state, where over 100 candidates are currently writing their first series, the head of WAEC National Office, Mr. Amos Dangote, says that the centers across the country are well equipped with adequate resources, which include internet facilities and power supply.
Well prepared, we have sensitized everyone. We've given them the opportunity to try hands-on before the examination started. Today, general mathematics is taking place, and as you can see behind me here, the situation is very, very under control. They are calm, they are enjoying their time, and they have no issues whatsoever.
For quality assurance and compliance with standards of the examination, the Senior Deputy Registrar, Test Administration, WAEC, Mrs. Eukaria Onodu, explains that with the introduction of computer-based tests, there are candidates that enroll for this year's examination. There are more candidates that enroll for this year's examination than previous.
In the previous years, for school exams, for instance, some schools charge higher than what WAEC is charging. So it's here, you pay your money, get admission slip, you write the exam without paying anything extra.
The head WAEC National Office also reveals that all the centers are carefully selected, and registered examination officials are also there to serve as proctors during the examination to curb malpractices.
You don't even need any software to check malpractice when you are doing this kind of exam, because number one, the questions you are answering will not be the same as the one your neighbor is answering, and you will see that there are cubicles which prevent you from looking at any other person. Your time is different from any other person's time.
Some of the candidates share their experiences after the exercise.
The CBT, no stress, everything was okay. The computer-based, this thing is very easy. Everything is well done, smooth. The performance of the invigilators are very good.
The examination begins from January the 31st to February the 17th, spanning 2 weeks and 4 days. Candidates will be tested on 19 subjects that make up 26 papers.
The Lagos State government is promised to create an enabling environment as well as equal opportunities for people living with disabilities in the state. The General Manager, Office for Disability Affairs, Mrs. Adenike Yetunde Lawal, made this comment while celebrating the International Disability Day at Adeyemi Burial Hall, Alausa, Ikeja. She says government will ensure that no one is left behind in its development agenda.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration is paying more attention to the needs of people living with disabilities. The state government, through the Office of Disability Affairs, believes they need to have an opportunity to improve their welfare and is using the International Disability Day celebration to push this through.
These individuals have proven that disability should not limit the heights that someone can attain. I use this medium to encourage every member of the society to join hands with the government to ensure persons with disabilities are fully integrated into the society.
Lagos State government was the first state that enacted the Special People's Law, and the agency, Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs, came because of that law. Mr. Governor doesn't want anybody left behind.
While some commend government's efforts to improve their lot, others seek policy implementation of employment opportunities for people living with disabilities.
What Lagos State has done with the law, the Special People's Law, is to ensure that we have our children in school, is to ensure that persons with disabilities are employable. But are we there yet?
We are saying thank you to our dear amiable governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for taking a very good initiative with persons with disability in Lagos State. Well, it's a very laudable thing. I hope the Lagos State will do more better than this in the subsequent year.
The State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development assures them of more support as he reiterates that meeting the needs of people living with disabilities is a priority.
I would also like to echo the importance of people living with disabilities. Just like the PS said, in our Themes Plus agenda, social inclusion, gender equality, and youth engagement, when we look in this hall, all of that is already put in our Themes Plus agenda.
Awards were given to outstanding caregivers for their impactful contributions to the progress of people with disabilities in Lagos State, as well as presentation of other valuable gift items for the visually impaired students, among others.
Staying in Lagos State, the government has graduated over 100 youth from the Project Loud Sanwo-Olu ICT Skills Acquisition Center in Surulere. The Lagos State government says it is determined to equip every interested individual with skills to carve out a niche for themselves, brimming with promise and success.
We don't collect a dime.
It's the second graduation and third induction ceremony of over 100 youth who've taken part in Project Loud, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's ICT Skill Acquisition Center located in Surulere area of Lagos State.
And you are even using that knowledge to impact people's lives. So to me, you are a role model.
The institution stands as a beacon of hope committed to furnishing young minds with valuable skills in different fields. Having completed their program successfully, the state government advised them to be focused in their respective professions.
Prioritize excellence. And what does that mean? It means that be the best at what you do. When you get the excellence, money will eventually chase it.
The free empowerment scheme is designed to reduce unemployment in the state and also achieve socio-economic transformation amongst the people.
Project Loud Sanwo-Olu ICT Skills Acquisition Center is an empowerment skills program that teaches our Nigerian youth, both elderly and youth, a 2-month free, all expense paid program.
A lot of times the youth complain that there are no opportunities, there's no employment. We understand that not everyone is going to be employed, but again, if you are able to gain some skills, it can take you to the next level, as the case may be. The government is trying to do all of this by partnering with private individuals as well.
They are excited to go out there and explore.
I learned a lot. I found out that mixology is not about just mixing drinks. It's all about having a good personality, and there are calculations to it.
I have learned how to do several things: baking, cakes, cupcakes, wedding cakes, and everything. Now I can stand on my own and bake, and I will make more money.
This program itself has been very, very, very educating, informative, and empowering.
The Lagos State government says it's encouraging other youth out there who are yet to benefit from Project Loud to take advantage of the initiative and empower themselves in less than 3 months. As the discussions on food security deepens across the world, agricultural experts and researchers from different parts of the world converge on the International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, for a workshop on food security. The experts and researchers from different research groups believe that agricultural transformation is important to ensure food, nutrition, and environmental security in Africa.
We have 9 commodities.
The conference hall of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture plays host to research groups across the continent as discussions on food security in Africa take center stage. The IITA notes with concern that the population growth rate is rising at an alarming rate. The continent also has about 300 million people going hungry because of war and conflict. On the global map, there are 24 hunger hotspots in the world. 16 of them are in Africa, and something has to be done about it.
These are, as they call, act of gods or environmental disasters, but we also have man-made disasters from where we are. This was the factory and office building where we were hosted in Sudan, and during the war, as you can see, it was unfortunately burned down. You see what happens when you have a disaster. You have to clean up all the rubbish that comes into campus. And, the water gets more and more dirty, so we have to spend more and more money on cleaning the water. That's our water cleaning facility.
Talks here are premised on the fact that agriculture is a sector that needs to be developed more, not only to make sure that the continent is food and nutrition secure, but also to make agriculture a sector that generates economic empowerment, wealth, and employment for the youth population.
It's very important for us, particularly in the continent, to talk about food security and nutrition security and resilience and sustainability, because unfortunately the continent is still very much relying on import for food and does not produce enough for its own population. Whereas the potential is there. The potential is huge in Africa, not only because of its fertile land and natural resource management, but also for its own population.
The need for greater collaboration in terms of integration and supporting national systems in the least income, low and middle income countries is important to transform the agri-food system, but poverty and inequality must get out of the way.
I'm very satisfied to see really how the centers have built up experience over years. I'm very happy to see a lot of collaboration between different sectors as well. But I think we need to do more. We need to do more in terms of integration, in terms of working together, and in terms of supporting national system.
The Director General of IITA, Dr. Simeon Ehui, appeals to African countries to do their best to contribute to food security, saying that the problems of food insecurity and malnutrition continue to increase significantly in Africa.
My appeal is to African countries to do their best to contribute, to food security and to combat the food security, insecurity and hunger in their respective countries. That should be the primary source of funding.
It's hopes that food research centers across Africa can muster the strength required for food security, but only with the support of African governments.
That's it on Newsroom series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.